The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters at Real Estate Marketing, Ardor SEO.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Icons of Real Estate podcast. With us today, we have Huy Nguyen. He's a 3-time icon agent, and with his 5 years in eXp Realty, has built an organization with more than 200 agents. Huy comes in with a big passion for helping people build wealth through real estate, being that in production or in investing. And today, he'll help you on the Icons of Real Estate podcast. Welcome to the show, Huy.
Well, Thomas, thank you for dragging me in here, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. So, Thomas, I'm all here for you. Anything that I can do to add value to your life, to your audience, I'm here for it. So let's get things started.
And we're here for it. And so let's start with your real estate journey. And I know that you were fixing computers for a living at a time you're not of your life. So tell me, how do you go from that to helping realtors 10 times their production?
Actually, you bring up a really good point. So my previous life was, fixing computer, right? When I was in college. The first time you receive your paycheck, they told you they pay you $3,000, but when you receive your paycheck, it's not $3,000, right? All of a sudden, I see all this deduction that I have no clue what is it about, and in the end, before I can even get my paycheck, somebody, get half of it, and I don't mind saying it, the government, I don't even know who it is, but somebody from the government, to whatever program that they have, they get half of it. And I just look at it and I was like, man, this is not right. I gotta do something about this, because it doesn't matter. You cannot build wealth in this country if somebody keep dipping into your pocket every time, before you even get your paycheck. Right. So basically, if you have a paycheck, you're going to do the workout, Thomas, and somebody's getting all the sick pack. I somehow saw that in the very early beginning, and I started to dig around, to some other way, to try to, combat that problem, if you will. And then if you dig enough, you're going to land into real estate, right? This is the only vehicle on earth that allow you to build wealth, preserve wealth, capture wealth, and then, in the same time, generating cash flow from it. So that's my journey with real estate. That's how I started into real estate investment. And fast forward, here I am with you, an Asian with eXp, and I love it every single minute.
Perfect. And yeah, I can say that it is very frustrating from personal experience to see a paycheck getting stripped even before you get to touch it. But yeah, how did you get into real estate? Of course, that's your why. Why did you get in? But how did you get started? Did you get started realtor, in brokerage, start on your own? Tell us more about it.
So I actually started from the other way around, if you will. So I'm not starting my real estate career as a realtor, if you will. You know the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? So long story short, back then when Barter is still in business, I'm looking for answer, right? So I'm just circling around the bookstore, like, what is it I'm missing? And then of course I land on this book. It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I pick it up, I read it, everything makes sense, and that's kind of how I started in investing in real estate. So to my mom, I was lucky enough to know a mentor, one of my mentor back then. His name is Patrick. So I kind of follow Patrick. Patrick have a couple rental house. I told Patrick I want to do the same. Of course I still keep my job. I try to save as much as I can. I don't buy any bookstore from college. I go ahead and print them out. I save every single penny as I can, Thomas, during college. Right? I don't go out and eat. I just try to save up the sum, so that way, when I get out of college, I have some fun that I can play around with, and that's exactly what I did. I get out of college, while most people, they kind of don't have anything, if you will. I might I might lose half of the audience when I say this. Yeah. But yeah, I just save, I just try to save so much in college. So that way, I get this, sum of money. And then I tell Patrick, like, hey, Patrick, I was able to save, this much amount of money. Can you go help me buy a house? And, back then in 2008, houses is so cheap. You can get a really nice house in Houston for $80,000, right? And long story short, Patrick helped me buy my first home. I was so excited, but and this is a problem that most home buyer make. They get excited and they spend all the money into the house. And the house that you live in, Thomas, it does not make you any money, right? You actually feed the house instead of the house feeding you. So luckily, I have Patrick, and Patrick told me that, like, hey, you do a good job with your saving. You buy your first home already and you still have a lot of money left. Instead of throwing your money into this house and make it look more beautiful than it needs, why don't you go buy a rental house? Just a house next door, they are for sales for $90,000, right? Same exact thing. But if you can buy that, somebody else is going to pay for your house, right? So long story short, instead of spending the money on the house that I live in, I used it to buy another rental. The rent was $1,200. The mortgage was $600. After all the PITI, the principal, the interest, the tax, the insurance, I net $400. So somebody is paying to live in my house and then, pay me more than enough money to cover my mortgage. And then I get $400 to spend at the end of the day. At the end of the month, sign me up. So that's exactly what I did. I tell, Patrick to go help me get that house. And that's how I started in the real estate investing side of it, and then just one house after another. And, things just keep, snowballing until now. I still keep some of it. I guess most of it until this day.
Nice. That's amazing, Huy. And good of you to take that plunge, into investing, even just after college. Most people, they just settle for some daytime job and that's it. And you risked it, and yeah, you start with one rental property, it goes to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it doesn't stop, right?
And then if you ask me like how I get my real estate license, I was so excited, right? So I would, rat Patrick out to see houses, like 30 houses on a weekend, right?
Yeah.
He got tired of it, and he just tell me directly, like, hey, you're seeing a lot of houses, and I don't have the energy for it. So why don't you get your own license, and then I can help you, buy your own houses. You kind of know. You kind of know what to do now. Just get your own license, go see your own houses, and then I can just help you on the back end. And that's just how I get started with my real estate license and kind of buy. I am my first client, so I use the license to buy a house for myself. Right?
Nice.
Just like Tom Hopkins, Tom Hopkins, he said this very good thing. You are your best client first of all, right?
Yeah.
You need to be the one who serve yourself first. If you don't know how to serve yourself, and then you cannot serve other people.
Exactly.
So
did you give yourself 5 stars after that?
Oh yeah. Oh man, I wish. And actually, you funny. That's a problem, right? Because right now we do a lot of flip. So a lot of my production, it's a lot of listing, right? 1/3 of it is my flip. And Google, they only give, like you only have one chance to review yourself. But I have so many transactions, with either myself, my wife, or 1 or 2 of my clients. So all those I have is, like a bunch of listing here. It's really coming from 2 or 3 clients, and I don't know how to, like get all the review up. It's kind of unfair for me, but anyhow.
Yeah, I guess the reviews, they're not on how many transactions, it's how many lives you've changed. So how many clients you had.
Yeah. So so you have one person, and this person did handy with you. How am I gonna get like 1 review? That's not fair. But it's just the way review works, I guess. So
yeah, maybe a little advice is maybe you ask the person to change the review into, instead of saying like, who helped me with this transaction, you can already say who helped me with 3 transactions, and maybe a review can be more powerful in that way.
Yeah.
And yeah, tell me, so you started investing, you got your real estate license because you want to get more to it, do more with the real estate. How did you land in the EXP Realty?
So fast forward a little bit, I get my first job at UFH, right? And then I go work at Hewlett Packard for a while. And then, I land at Schlumberger, which is an oil and gas company. I mean, I love every minute there, but I just didn't realize that the oil and gas industry, it was so up and down. And Thomas, they don't let me go, right? They let my boss go, so my boss got shift around, and all my colleagues was getting let go. I just didn't, it just didn't feel like home for me. And all of a sudden, again, like I realized that, the amount of work just keep getting piled up and piled up and piled up, but your paycheck didn't go with the amount of work, right? The amount of work, I probably, like maybe 2x, 3x, when the oil go down, because they let go a lot of people. And then they give you a merit increase, like 1% increase. Congratulations, you get a raise. 1%. Congratulations, you get a raise. You get 2% raise. I was like, what the hell is this, right? And then, and of course I have to make a move. But, the key thing for me, when I make a move is that I cannot, trade an IT job for another sales job, right? Because, Thomas, at the end of the day, it's still a job. If you stop working and then the income will stop flowing. So I keep looking and keep looking, for a company that, not only pay me in commission, I need to get some equity out of it. I'm done working for some other people company. I need to get equity out of the company. I need to get some kind of, passive income, residual income, some kind of cash flow that kind of back me up. So I don't know that thing called EXP, but I keep looking. I ask my friend, I ask some people around, and I get connected to my sponsor, Jeff and Amanda, to a mutual friend. Long story short, we agreed to meet over the sushi place. I think, I'm not sure who bought the sushi, but she bought me some sushi, I buy some sushi. She opened her laptop and she showed me this model, that, hey, you actually get some equity when you buy some houses. And then, if you learn to help other agents, do the same thing you did, you're gonna get some revenue share as well. And the light bulb just went off. And, Amanda was so surprised. I asked Amanda, like, hey, this looks really good. Where do I sign up, right? And she, you never have anybody that do that before. Usually you have to follow up with people like constantly before they join. Like me, the light bulb just went up. It's like, hey, where do I sign up? This is exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah, not that, not that moment, but it took me like 2-3 months, to really have, the gut to quit my job. And then, I would jump into, real estate full time with EXP. Yeah.
Nice. That's
awesome.
It's
just about me, looking for that, equity. It's about me looking for that, to that revenue share, for that passive income that nobody else offer, right? And the only company that offer that, the equity and the rest and the passive income for the agent is EXP.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've been here with the company for 5 years, loving it ever since.
So you're focused now in your day-to-day efforts. How is it distributed between production, investing, and agent attraction? What are you focusing? What are you going to do after you finish this recording?
Man, I'm telling you, it's a struggle. So you asked about today how I juggle my time between all different business, right? Man, yeah. I'm not. You saw my board. That's all the part of the business I have. So I have the flipping business. I have the production business. I have the rev share business. I have my short-term rental. I have my long-term rental. And then, there's some investment that I need to vet, in order to passively invest as well. So yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man, I don't have a formula for it. I'm not perfect. It's a struggle, right? It's so many different things to do. But you know what? The cool thing is that it's all related to real estate, right? At the end of the day, it's about people. It's about real estate. There's a lot of common point between all the business. And if you can just learn how to, develop people, leveraging out, give people more responsibility, coach them, mentor them, and then you're going to build an empire, right? So that way, at one time, when you can step away from your job, you can absolutely do that, right? And then I kind of have a team for each day. If you ask me, like, to the little detail, so like today is usually Tuesday, right? Tuesday is all about rev share. Monday is all about production. On Monday, anybody talk, try to, pick my brand about rev share. I'm usually not tuned to it, but Tuesday is all about rev share. It's all about follow up with my leader, with my front line and see how everybody's doing. Wednesday, it's more like I check on my Airbnb. I check all the comm, and then follow up with my property manager. So each day, you have a team, so that way, I can just focus on it, get it done, and I don't go crazy.
Okay, so you do have a plan. See, like you do have a plan.
It's not perfect,
It's not.
that's why I kind of put it out there, it's like, hey, what is not working today? What do you need to focus on today? What make me the most money today? What is the one thing that I can do today, Thomas, that will make everything else, doesn't matter anymore. So I focus on that one thing. Yeah, we went to the shareholder conference, right? We, the keynote speaker, they asking about your 3 minute, 1 hour, and 1 day. I can't articulate that correctly, but really it's just like a little thing that you do, like the one thing that you do, that 3 minutes is going to make all the difference. Do that first and then do everything else later.
Yeah, well, I was gonna ask you, how was the summit? Because you're the first recording we're having after the latest Cheryl summit. And yeah, of course, I was not there present, but I was following all the smiles on the Insta stories. Can you tell us a bit more about it? How did it go?
Man, it was amazing. If you're in real estate, Thomas, you should absolutely go. It doesn't matter what broker you are. It doesn't matter what industry you are. You need to go to our conference, EXP conference. I never seen any conference like this where Asian, they just literally helping other Asian instead of competing with each other. Right, so we have this X camp in the morning, and it doesn't even led by the company. So a group of Asian, we get together, we vote on a topic like, hey Thomas, what do you want to learn today? You want to learn about short-term rental, long-term rental, social media, leadership, team building? Okay, let's put it on the board. Let's have people vote on it, and then we're going to pick an expert on that subject, and then we're going to teach you. Right?
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a lot about collaboration, building culture. So many people, so many leader in my group, my team member, they go there, they get the most out of it. And yeah, Thomas, just kind of get immersed into the ecosystem and trust the people around you. And if you can do that, if you can keep your head in the conference, a lot of magic moment is going to happen for you. If you go to the conference and then if you constantly stay on the phone, if you worry about, your contract is going to fall apart, it's going to fall apart anyway, right? And it's going to be somewhere else, and you're not focusing on the people around you. That's really, in my language, is very disrespectful for your colleague, because they go there, they're looking to get the best out of you, and your head is not there with you, right? So if you're going to go to the conference, leave all the problem at home, go there, immerse yourself into the system, give back as much as you can, and you're going to be, expecting a lot of magical moment, a lot of takeaway for you and your business. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going, you need to go. You need to go all in. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, and man, as far as the fun, man, who booked the entire Universal Studio for the agent, right?
Yeah.
So we get that entire part, instead of waiting hour for line, how crazy the line over there. We just get to walk right in and walk right out of the ride. It was only 4 hours, but man, it was really good, right?
Nice, enough. 4 hours enough. If you don't have any lines, in 4 hours you can do everything.
There's only about like 4,000 people into the port, so you get the whole part to yourself. Like, it's an experience that you would never experience before, right? So it's it's just, it's fun, but it's a way for me to build a culture with my group, with the people around me.
Nice. Did you bring your organization with you as well?
Yeah. So we promoted, I promoted to all the leaders. I don't force people to go. Of course, when you force anything, it doesn't work, but I encourage and I inspire people to go. And yeah, we got a lot of real kick out of it. And I can just tell you one of my best, probably, like, her name is Judy. Judy probably get the most out of it because Judy sign up with us with EXP on a Saturday, and then she be on a conference on Sunday. Right? Brand new to the company. She don't even know me. She don't even know her sponsor that well. And she just, she somehow like trust, us. And then, she go to the conference and, she get exploded, because she's coming from a small brokerage, it doesn't have a lot of exposure, so from her, to take that big leap from a very small brokerage to an international conference and talk with so many different people from so many different countries. And then especially she's Latino, EXP Latino, they have just a strong culture in the company and they host epic party, right? She immerses herself into the culture, and man, she gets so much connection out of it. And she just like, like killing it. Like, that's it. This is my home. I gotta go home, I gotta go back and I gotta implement a lot of stuff, and we're gonna build this together. I wish everybody can onboard to EXP like Judy. It's like the best experience for her ever.
Exactly. No, she's taking a big shot of motivation, and now it's time to get to work.
It's like a shock, right? It's like all of a sudden you get shocked.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my God, what is all these people? It's
Yeah, it did sound amazing, and I think for the ones that have joined the summit and are listening, they're reminiscing, and for the others that are listening and didn't join, they're getting a bit of FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. But yeah, like going back to who you are, which you brand yourself as the Cashflow agent. So obviously, like, let's talk a bit about that. And you have specialized, as we can see by your board, in many forms of investing and flipping, short-term rental, long-term rental, using the Brew method, right? And coming from the Cashflow agent himself, like, which investment is more prone to bring you more cash flow?
Okay. Well, the short answer, to be honest with you, rev share bring me the most amount of income coming in right now. So rev share is the most. But other than that, and this is what I tell people, the cash flow is going to make you look rich, but it's an equity. It's going to make you wealthy, right? So it's always two sides of the equation. You need to spend the time to work on your commission. You need to spend the time to work on your, on your rev share, all the income, but really all the investment that I make, using this income coming in, buying houses, building my equity, invest passively in apartment. Those is gonna make anyone wealthy, right? So it's the balance between the two, and you have to find the right balance for yourself. Is that your question, or should I go in like in a particular subject?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Every answer is special as it is.
So let me just talk more about like why I picked the term cash flow agent. If you will.
Go for it.
It's actually still fresh up my mind. So actually, when I just got back here, I got a phone call from one of my leader in Dallas. She have an important meeting, so I have to flew there. Done the meeting, and then I get to attend one of her event, right? And that we use event to kind of showcase our group and attract agent into the company. And man, this one, I can't recall her name right now. She was so nice, but this one lady, she showed me, like, hey, like, Huy, I saw you on Facebook, I saw you on social media. Would you mind underwrite this deal for me, right? My realtor told me this is a good deal, but my gut is just feeling wrong. Something is wrong about this deal. So I was like, yeah, sure. Show me the number, right? If you don't know what to do, do the number, and then the number will tell you what to do. And sure enough, the house was like almost $500,000. With the interest rate right now around 6%. If you calculate all the PITI and then you factor the rent, there's no way the house will cash flow positive, right? And so long story short, this house, after the realtor convinced her to get into the deal, so she actually put in earnest money already. The house, is negative $500, right? The cash flow is negative 500.
That's not good.
Yeah, and the realtor is still convincing her that, hey, this is a really good deal. Although you negative 500, you're gonna build a lot of equity. You're gonna have a tax deduction. You're gonna build wealth. So go ahead and buy this house. It's a good deal. And how bullshit is that, Thomas? It just hurt the industry so much. It hurt the realtor reputation so much. When we still have the realtor, this kind of realtor out there, I probably lose half of my audience, right? I would say 80%, only 20% of realtor know what the hell is going on, have an investment background. Most of the realtor you talk to, Thomas, or anybody talk to, is going to be that realtor right there. All they care about, is their freaking commission, right? They don't care about you. They don't care about your wealth. They care about that 3% that they're going to get on the commission. Yeah, so they're going to tell you negative $500 is a good deal. And if you naive enough, if they use all kind of tactic, to kind of trick you into the deal, and then you end up buying it, you in a world of hurt. I see that happen over and over and over again, and I just hate it. So that's how I kind of come up with the term, cash flow agent, because in order for a deal to work, Thomas, it needs to cash flow positive, right? That's the minimum. It break even maybe, but the rent needs to be at least to cover the mortgage, right? So if you cannot do that, and then just walk away for the deal, or renegotiate with the seller. Yeah. So I even forgot your original question, but that's how I come up with the, with my tag name, the Cashflow agent, because I really, I learned how to build wealth for myself already, so let me use what I know, to build wealth for you, to your family, and really for all the client, for all the life that I touch, right? I have the slogan right here. It's like enriching the life of everyone who connected to me, right? So if you get to hang out with me, I'm gonna try my best, to elevate your financial being. Yeah. So that's kind of a term, so that's kind of how I go about the business. I'm not too much about, like first time home buyer, like, hey, let me buy your dream house. But if you want to build wealth, Thomas, I'm gonna be your guy. My team is gonna be, is gonna be your guy, right? I want real estate not to be a liability. Most people, most home buyer, when they buy a house, the house is their liability, right? They feed the house. I want to turn it around. Your house is gonna be your asset, right? The house needs to pay you. You need not to pay for the house. And the only way you do that is, is using the BRRRR method. If you know how to flip, you can do that, so you kind of turn the real estate around and kind of, make the real estate serve you instead of you, serving the real estate, right? Most people, they buy the dream house and then, they throw everything they have into it. And I don't know, it doesn't look very financially sound to me. Anyway.
No, it is not. It's more as a people see it more as a burden than an asset itself, right?
Yeah. But yeah, real estate is supposed to serve you. So, learn, just like Robert Kiyosaki say, right? It just start with the financial education. You have to learn the number. You have to, learn the language. You have to learn how to run the number correctly. And it doesn't matter. The thing about the market right now, why people scared, Thomas, is because they're in it for the short term. They don't know what they are doing. Most people, not most people, but some people, they play real estate for capital gain, right? So if you only know how to make money in real estate by capital gain and capital loss, and then when the market moves, you're gonna be really scared, right? But if you just go back to the basic and buy cash flow positive real estate, especially using the BRRRR method, if you BRRRR correctly, it's gonna cost you nothing to own the house, right? If it costs you nothing to own the house, it doesn't matter what the market go up and market go down. Somebody else is still gonna pay for your house, and you still gonna own the house, 15 years, 20 years later. So the market doesn't really affect you, right? Because your number, your foundation, your basic, the number behind your math is so strong that no amount of financial headwind can affect you. It's not like stock, it's not like crypto. Real estate is God does not. Oh, this is a good one that I learned yesterday. God does not make any more real estate, Thomas. So you can own a piece of real estate, have somebody else pay for it. It's going to appreciate in the future. That's I guarantee that. It might go down a little bit, but get somebody else to pay for it. Okay.
Yeah, of course. No, I agree with you, and I think like I would love to deep down on that on the BRRRR method.
Okay.
How many hours is that? But it's but no, what I'm saying is because we haven't talked about that on the podcast yet. But yeah, I would love if we have more time. The truth is the time is not on our side on this one. But maybe, who knows, we'll schedule another episode and talk about that, because I know you have a lot more to talk about.
Okay, well, actually, let me just talk about that right now, because I'm actually sitting in one of my BRRRR right now, right?
All right.
Yeah. So this office that you see right here, Thomas, I didn't buy it for $300,000, right? It was a beat up house, it's almost fall to the ground. We picked it up from the MLS for like $100,000, right? 105 to be exact. So long story short, the BRRRR stand for buy, right? You have to buy correctly, and you don't buy this $1 million house that kind of already fixed up. You buy beat up house, that you can add value to it. That later on you go to the bank, they can lend you back more money than you put into after you rehab it. So we bought this house for $100,000. We spent $100,000 to rehab it. It was a nightmare. It got so much work. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This is actually my first BRRRR, so we run into trouble with the city permit. I run into all kind of trouble. My plumber take the money and run away. You have no idea, right? I went to hell with this house, but long story short, it cost me $100,000 to fix it up. So totally we in it for $200,000, right? And then, thanks God, I have a really amazing wife. She's so creative. She's, the attic, is really tall, right? So we actually added a room upstairs, so a room upstairs, we actually added a bedroom and a bathroom, and I turned that into an Airbnb, right? A short-term rental.
Nice.
Right? $60 a day. And luckily, finger crossed, it's, not only, the house, always stay full for like 20 days. And, just the income coming from the upstairs room is enough to cover the mortgage already.
Yeah.
So long story short, I'm in the house for $200,000. I go to the bank, I go to my lender, and then my lender send the appraisal out, and the appraisal appraised the house for $275,000, right? So all of a sudden I get to cash out 210, which is more than 200, right? So I cash all my money out plus a little more. I own the house. I get control of the house. I put zero money down, and somebody else upstairs is paying for my mortgage.
Right? That's awesome.
That's, to go into the detail is a lot more than that, but on the short version, that's what BRRRR stands for. You buy, you rehab, you you rent, and then you refinance, and then you repeat. Right now, I got my $200,000 back. I can do it again.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know you were in one. Of course, like you had to mention that. But when I mentioned about other episode is, of course, going into that in detail, and we'll love to hear more about it.
Sure.
But yeah, we wrapping up here. We like to see, and maybe the Shareholder Summit's changed something from your goals, but we like to see, like, where do you go from here? What are your goals? Let's talk a bit more 2022 and a bit the longer version of the upcoming years. Okay,
so I guess one of my big takeaway from the summit is that I kind of wing my way, Thomas. I kind of wing my way into Icon Agent. I kind of wing my way into into 200 agent at EXP. Get into the EXP leader. I'm about to get into the beta group. I just realized that I don't have any system and process behind to support this kind of growth. So my big takeaway is gonna be business system and process. It's not so much about me having 200 agent. Can I get what I know? Can I build a system? And then like the next guy who joined me, can I give him a blueprint? Can I teach him to do exactly the same thing I did, right? So no longer I can wing my way into like 1,000 agents. I realized that in order for me to grow, I need to really have a system and process behind it. Not for me, but for the people in my group, for my leaders, so that way they can just rip up and duplicate. So system and process and scaling. And of course, I'm gonna try to get on more podcasts. This is whenever, my coach told me, whenever you can get a microphone, grab it. It's a chance for you to speak to, to expose yourself to the audience and increase your brand. So I'm gonna start doing a lot of that, this year, next year.
Yeah. Nice, and we'll love already to help with that, I guess, being here on the Icons of Real Estate.
yeah, absolutely. So thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, my pleasure. And yeah, tell us, how can our audience reach out to you if they want to get in touch with you?
Okay, so the same way you reach out to me, I'm active on Instagram. You can just follow me on Instagram. My handle is Cashflow Agent. And if you are in EXP, we have this amazing system called Workplace. I'm active on Workplace as well. So yeah, if you're not with EXP, follow me on Instagram. If you with EXP, follow me on Workplace.
Nice, perfect.
Yep.
It was an absolute pleasure having you on the Icons of Real Estate podcast, and hope you enjoyed as much as I did. And yeah, we'll talk about it maybe that next episode when we can go more in detail on what is the BRRRR method, how to get started, what does it stand for, what is the troubles, and how to take the best of it. Maybe we can schedule that.
I would love to I would love to talk on that. I'm actually on my this year I'm on my third BRRRR right now, because you can take the money out, right? So I took the money out, I actually BRRRR my father-in-law a house, because he need a house. So I BRRRR the house for him, I took the money back, and then now I'm BRRRRing another one. It's going to be my another of the short-term rental.
Nice. Yeah. Amazing. My headphones just fell off. Amazing. It was a pleasure, and talk to you soon. Bye.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you, Thomas. Talk to you
Thank
soon.
you. Come on.
Okay. All right. Come on. See you soon.